Have you ever found yourself wondering, why does this keep happening? Maybe it's not the exact situation, maybe it's a coworker or a family member, but it feels awfully familiar. Somehow, after those interactions, you feel the same way, misunderstood or responsible, rejected or not enough, or like you have to prove yourself, or like you're the one who's carrying everybody else's emotions. If you've ever wondered, why do I keep doing this? This video is for you. Because it's often not the people who are repeating, it's the patterns. If we haven't met before, I'm Elaine Louise Stewart, and I help women who are 50 and above, who feel like they've lost themselves, reconnect with who they are so they can create lasting change through self-awareness and self-trust. Today, I want to share 3 ideas that completely changed the way I understand relationships. First, early patterns often repeat outside of our awareness. Second, recognizing the pattern gives you the opportunity to choose a different response. And third, emotional healing creates deeper and healthier connections. Let's begin. One of the things I hear most often is, I don't understand why this is happening. Maybe somebody criticized you and you immediately feel like a failure. Somebody's disappointed and you immediately feel responsible for fixing it. Somebody pulls away and you immediately ask, what did I do wrong? The situations may be different, but the emotional experience feels strangely familiar. Most women assume that they're reacting to what is happening today. But often, today's situation is waking up yesterday's pattern. When we're young, we learn ways to stay emotionally safe. Some of us learn to become the helper. Some of us learn to be the peacemaker. Some become the achiever, and some stay quiet. Some become hyper-aware of everybody else's feelings. At the time, those responses made sense. They helped us navigate our world. The problem is that our nervous system often keeps using those same strategies long after we need them. So decades ago, somebody raised their voice and we immediately shut down. Someone disagrees with us and we begin apologizing. Somebody seems unhappy and we rush in to fix it. Not that we consciously choose to do that, but because the pattern has become so familiar, it's almost automatic. For years, I noticed that whenever somebody was disappointed with me, I immediately assumed I'd done something wrong. It didn't matter whether it was a friend or somebody in my family or somebody at work. My first response wasn't curiosity. It was guilt. I wanted to explain myself, fix things, make sure they weren't upset. I thought I was responding to that moment, but really I was responding to a pattern I'd learned years earlier. When I finally saw that, everything began to change. Instead of asking, what's wrong with me? I started asking, why does this feel so familiar? That one question opened the door to understanding instead of self-judgment. This is what I hope you'll remember. There's nothing wrong with you if old patterns still show up. Patterns are not evidence that you failed. They're evidence that your nervous system learned something a long time ago. The goal isn't to blame the past. It's to understand it well enough that it no longer has to make today's decisions. Awareness gives you choice, and choice is where freedom begins. So what can you do? I have 2 practices you can try. First, the next time you have a strong emotional reaction, ask yourself, Does this feeling belong only to this moment, or does it feel more familiar than that? Don't rush the answer. Just be curious. Curiosity creates space, and space creates choice. The second practice is to notice one relationship this week where you act pretty much automatically. Then I want you to pause, take a breath, then ask yourself, if I wasn't following my old pattern, how would I like to respond to this? Not so I'd do it perfectly, so I'd respond differently. That pause begins creating a new pattern. The beautiful thing about patterns is this: they were learned, which means they can be unlearned. Not overnight, not perfectly, but one moment of awareness at a time. Every time you notice a familiar pattern, every time you pause, every time you choose a response that's more aligned with who you are today, you're changing your future relationships. One small choice at a time. Remember, early patterns often repeat outside of our awareness. Recognizing the pattern gives you the opportunity to choose a different response. And emotional healing creates deeper, healthier connections. That's how change happens. Not all at once. One relationship, one conversation, one response at a time. I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever noticed yourself repeating the same emotional pattern in different relationships? Tell me in the comments. If this video was helpful, I'd love for you to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe. I post a new video every week for women who are 50 and above, reconnect with themselves and create lasting change. Next time, we're talking about the next life shift, from caregiving to coming home to yourself. You've done brave things before. This is just the next step. Thank you for listening. Please take good care of yourself, and I'll see you next time.